And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 19 of the debut season of the PCSRA Busch Series. And it's going to get crunch time here for this series because after tonight's race, we have 7 more races left to go until we crown the 12 until we have the 12 drivers battling out in this season's chase for the championship. As we're getting set for the 19th race on the season, on the pole is S Hsu in the 29. She dropped 2 spots down to fifth in the points after Daytona last week. K Langeland alongside also dropped 2 spots down to eighth in the points. Azar Amirmoez is 38th in points of the full-time drivers who've run every race this season. And alongside is Brad Blackmon. On the flip side, he is ninth in the points, still looking for his first win on the season. As you look at the rest of today's starting lineups, as we're getting set for today's running of the Coors Banquet 400 is what the race name is going to be called for the Busch Series. And let's say the top 10 in the points presented by Golden Corral. After last week's race at Daytona, Azar Amirmoez retook the points lead from Annika Ricci. It is now 24 points in hand. Malin Lee, 38 points back, third in the standings. D Marquez is fourth in the standings, 38 points back, tied with Malin Lee. S Hsu is fifth, 39 back. 43 back is Lucas Albon in sixth, as we're going to have the rest of the field roll off right now. Seventh is Annika Amirmoez. K Langeland, eighth. Brad Blackmon, ninth. Danny Rant complete the top 10. So we're really excited for the Coors Banquet 400. Tomorrow will be the Coors 500 for the Winston Cup race here at Hillside. Next week we'll head to Papyrus, getting set for the fun race weekend up there. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. The Coors Banquet 400 is underway. This is a fun mile racetrack. S Hsu leads the first lap. A lot of drivers call this the fun racetrack that is Hillside. There's Elizabeth Gardner in second. L Pelekai up there in the fourth position here in the early stages of this race. Pelekai is 22nd in points. She is inside the top 25 to have that win count for a spot in the playoffs. The only thing is, she's a mere 10 points ahead of 25th in the standings. So she needs a good run here today to get away from 25th in the points. Darby King is 1 point above the cut line as far as 25th is concerned, as that was not what I won. Jake Littleton's lost the draft there. Bruno Wood is tied for 25th. He is in that critical 25th position in the points. So if he has a poor result here today, he will fall outside the top 25 and have his win not count for a spot into the playoffs. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him, as Pelekai just led a critical bonus point. Drivers who have wins that are outside the top 25 in the points. One of them's coming up here, Bart Simpson. Emily Green is a total of 17 points back at 25th in the standings. As Azar Amirmoez leads the race. Bart Simpson is now 35 points back of 25th in the standings. Another driver who needs a good run to get himself in the top 25, and he's about to take the lead. There's Darby King. I just mentioned about Darby, who comes in this race 1 point above 25th in the points. Oh, they're trying to go 4 wide. That's not going to work. And around goes Martindale. This is not going to be good. Up in front of Tula Topola. Noah Parker gets collected. And they're wrecking. Annika Ricci involved. Bruno Wood's in it. One of the drivers who need a good run today. He's stuck. Emily Green. Kevin Lambert involved. Caution's out. Lucas Albon's in trouble. Taylor Valley involved. Well, that didn't take long. Let's see if they can get going. Bruno Wood gets to pit road, get to pit road, get pit road. Yep, he's stuck on the apron, trying to get his car going. First caution's out for the day. Let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened. Well, you knew 4 wide was not going to work. Darby King, Danny Rant, Prudence Martindale, and that's Jay Green. Try to go 4 wide. That was not going to work, and Jay Green just spun the 23 out. And Martindale's going to hit the inside wall, and the black smoke erupts on her Stacker 2 Chevy. And first car she's going to get hit by is Tula Topola, who gets hit by Morgan Le Fay, gets Noah Parker. And how does this feel? This gets involved. Looks like Emily Green's going to get turned. She spun herself out trying to avoid Michael Ford. Annika Ricci, Makara Amirmoez, that's a couple of drivers top 10 in the points. And what goes up must come down. Kevin Lambert's going to run into the Outdoor Channel Chevrolet. Makara Amirmoez came in this race 7th in points. Annika Ricci was 2nd in points coming into this race. Taylor Valley is upside down in the Aaron's Dream Machine. And look at the cars littered. And this is good news for Jake Littleton because he lost the draft with whatever the issue was on his Keystone Light Dodge. So he caught a lucky break. Unfortunately, everybody else didn't. And if Bruno Wood has a poor finish, this could take him out of the top 25 in points. And Emily Green's more than likely going to face a must-win situation heading into next week. As the caution's out for the first time today, let's jump to the restart here at Hillside. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing on lap number 16 of 40. As we're nearing the midway point of today's race. Katsura is the leader, Bart Simpson second, Danny Rant is third, Wood is 1 lap down. We'll document the rest of the drivers, and I noticed some skid marks down there on the back straightaway. We'll investigate that later. Darby King fourth, fifth, Jimmy Baker, sixth, Blake Peppers, Lucy Meyer seventh, eighth, Lee Pelekai, ninth, S Hsu, and Jay Green is the top 10. Drivers out, and there's a lot of them, and I believe we might investigate the Lucas Albon incident because I don't know why he's out of the race, but we'll look at that later. But he's out along with Kevin Lambert, Emily Green, Morgan Le Fay, Taylor Valley, Annika Ricci 2nd in points, Tula Topola, and Prudence Martindale. As we're back to green on lap number 16 of this race. Azar Amirmoez is running 11th. That's, by the way, the gal that that's the gal who's trying to run down Azar Amirmoez for the points lead was Annika Ricci, and she's out of the race. And she was 2nd in points, so this is going to be a big hit for her. Bruno Wood is 1 lap down, or about to be a lap down, because he was involved in that incident. And he could have not afforded a poor finish, as Katsura is having a lot of trouble getting around the Toys R Us Chevrolet. In fact, the 54 is just being a bit of a roadblock, if you ask me. Katsura finally gets cleared, but that's going to allow Bart Simpson to get underneath the Supercut Chevrolet. Kevin Lambert was 12th in points. Makar came in this race running well in points. This is not the result she was hoping for. There's Lucy Myers, former winner of this season. This is going to help her extend her cushion between herself and 25th in the standings, as she's going to take the lead. A second win could solidify herself a spot into the playoffs. But S Hsu is going to take the race lead. S Hsu is fifth in the points. She comes in this race 4 points above the playoff cut line. A win for S Hsu would actually would be good for her to get into the playoffs. As we're past the halfway point of today's race. Elizabeth Gardner in second. I got something on my finger and it's starting to hurt, and I don't know what I did to it. Elizabeth Gardner was actually tied for 25th in the points. So she wins. This will bolt her up into the top 25. And if she does win, it would count for a spot into the playoffs. There's last week's winner at Daytona. That would be Sally Ford. Sally Ford's another driver who has a win, but is outside the top 25 in the points. The good news for her, she's only 2 points back of 25th in the standings. She's 27th in points. Liliana Beta is 12 points back of 25th in the standings into 21. She's another former winner outside the top 25, and I haven't seen the Payday Chevrolet. Where is she running? She's running in 12. Here she comes. A good result for her is going to put her in the top 25 in points, and that would be not good news for drivers like S Hsu, Diego Marquez, who are trying to get in on points. There's another track I just realized that... Or never mind. I thought we've been to Loudon, but we have. I'm going to actually double check to be sure, so I do not jinx myself. Actually, we haven't. I just now realized. In fact, all 3 series have not raced at Loudon this season. That's, by the way, where we're going next week, is Loudon. Because now I just realized we haven't been to Loudon this season. Or no. It's the following week. I'm sorry. As they're about to lap Annika Ricci, who has no hood on her Chevrolet, and Brad Blackmon's going to take advantage. For the Truck Series drivers, it will be... Of course, next week we're going to head to the Papyrus Motorsports Park for another fast, high-speed road course where drafting will come into play on a road course. All 3 series is going to be at that racetrack. And then trucks will be off. For trucks, that'll be their 13th race of the season. They have 3 more races left to go. The following week, it'll be Busch and Winston Cup from Loudon. Hope you guys are looking forward to Loudon as Riley Roblier's off the pace. I wonder if he's lost a draft or something after getting held up by lap cars. We're, by the way, inside of 10 to go, I should point out. There's Diego Marquez, a driver who needs to get a win to get himself into the playoffs. Because I have a feeling we're going to have more than 12 drivers have a win, but we're going to have drivers who have a win that will not make the playoffs. So maybe your first win may not be enough to get yourself locked into the playoffs, believe it or not. And I'll go ahead and throw a little I'll make a disclaimer at the regular season finale um, about who would be in and who would be out. You'll just wait until all the points get calculated for all three series, and then we will find out who makes the playoffs and all that. I'm just going to say that right here and right now, as Landon Chang's about to take the lead, but not for long. Here comes Malin Lee. A second win for Malin Lee would get her a solidification into the playoffs, and Bart Simpson's just trying to make it back into the top 25 in points. Down to 4 to go. This race is going by quick. Of course, this is a mile track like the track we were at a couple of weeks ago at Dover. Blake Peppers, if he wins, he's in the playoffs. Bart Simpson wins, he would solidify himself a spot in the playoffs. But traffic for the leaders, as Riley Roblier is going to play a factor in who's going to win this race. Bart Simpson's going to look to the inside of the Kleenex Chevrolet. This is not a good run for Riley Roblier. Bet you Riley Roblier could be outside the top 25 in points, as we're going to take the white flag. And there's Jake Littletown, because remember, he was last place, lost the draft, got that caution. He's up here in the top 5. As we're going to take the white flag, here comes Jay Green. A second win for Jay Green could get him into the playoffs. And off of turn number 4, he's going to get lucky. Second win for Jay Green as he wins the Coors Banquet 400. And has he solidified himself a spot into the playoffs? A repeat winner goes to victory lane. Before we show you official finisher results, I'm going to go investigate the skid marks on the back straightaway, which we're going to do that now, as we're going to look back at a replay and find out where those skid marks came from. Well, we found our answer where the skid marks came from. It looks like Darby King just got turned by Jimmy Baker, and this was, by the way, under the yellow on the first caution back on lap number 11. And the 46 didn't get hit by anybody else or anybody. And this was back on our first caution at lap number 10. So looks like Darby King got away with one right there, but I seriously doubt she's going to be happy with Jimmy Baker. And Jimmy Baker was called to the big blue truck for that little incident. So now we investigate why those skid marks were, where the skid marks are from. It came from the Civil Air Patrol Chevrolet. So that's what happened there. Let's show you the full finisher results of today's race here at Hillside. And welcome back, as we're getting ready to go ahead and show you your official finish results. Jay Green's second win of the year. This will definitely get him away from 25th in the standings. He was 19th in the points table. And he was a total of... Let me do the math in my head. He was a total of 18 points ahead of 25th in the standings. I think that grew big time as he got the win. Good job to him. April Winter, so close to getting her first win on the season. She'll have to settle for second. April Winters came in this race in the 23rd position of points. Been a struggling season for her, but this will be a good run for her. Jake Littletown, well-needed run, 35th in the points in third. Azar Amirmoez got fourth. Drake Robertson will complete your top 5. Bart Simpson came home in 6th. He was a total of 35 points behind 25th in the standings. We're going to have to see where this is going to situate him. L Pelekai, well-needed run in 7th. This will definitely get her away from 25th in the standings and start building up some cushion. She'll be inside the top 20 in points after a lot of drivers ahead of her had troubles today. Diego Marquez, 8th. Michael Ford, 9th. And Danny Rant complete your top 10 here in this race. Let's see. We have Malin Lee, 21st. Came in this race 3rd in points. Azar Amirmoez finished 12th. She was your points leader. She'll keep the points lead heading into next week at Papyrus as you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. A couple of drivers running well in points going to take some hits. Sally Ford, 1 week removed from her first win on the season, 24th. I don't know if that's going to cut it or not. Darby King, 25th. She was 1 point ahead of 25th in the standings. The good news for her, a lot of drivers ahead of her. She finished a number of drivers ahead who had troubles today. So we'll see where this is going to situate her. Liliana Beta, same deal with her. Where is a 26th place finish going to situate her? Riley Rubler was 16th in the points. I'm not sure. He's going to be probably near that danger zone of 25th in the standings the way things are looking. Bruno Wood, I think this will take him out of the top 25 in points with a 32nd place finish, but he, Roblier, and Makar Amirmoez were the last three on the lead lap. Noah Parker was the last car to finish on the lead lap. Bruno Wood's the last car that finished the race, and then 8 drivers did not reach the conclusion of this race. Lucas Albon, Kevin Lambert, Emily Green, Morgan Le Fay, Taylor Valley, Annika Ricci second in points, Tula Topola, and Prudence Martindale. So a couple of things I can tell you. Bruno Wood's going to fall outside the top 25. L Pelekai will get away from 25th in the standings, and Azar Amirmoez will keep the points lead heading into next week at Papyrus. But we still got to finish up this race weekend with the Winston Cuppers here at Hillside before we head to Papyrus, where all 3 series will race next weekend. Please give this video a like if you guys enjoyed today's race. Subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We shared your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description heading into next week at Papyrus. Until then, I'm Indeed signing off. We'll see you tomorrow for the Winston Cup races. You've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and 15 years as the best center racing around the world since 2017.